For dinner tonight, I made these $1 million stuffed shells. This is based off the viral $1 million spaghetti, where basically it's an Alfredo and a red meat sauce over pasta. But this really elevates that dish with the ricotta filling inside of the shells, and you really gotta try it. So let's get started. First, I'm gonna make my red sauce. It's a fairly simple one. Heat lots of olive oil, and I'm gonna saute 1 large diced onion with a green bell pepper, give it a little salt. Throw in lots of minced garlic, and then once those veggies start to get tender, I'm gonna add in my pound of ground beef. We're just gonna brown that up, and then I'm gonna remove the excess grease. I don't have a lot because I used a lean ground beef. Next, I have about a 1/4 cup of tomato paste. I just wanna cook that out for a little bit before mixing it all together. And then I'm gonna add some salt, pepper, and red chili flakes. I'll be adding a jar of passata to this because it's just what I have on hand, but you can also use tomato sauce or tomato puree, just whatever you have is fine. Give that all a good mix, and then for the seasoning, I go in with lots of garlic and onion powder. Fresh parsley is great if you have it. I didn't, so I'm just using some dried parsley. Then some more red pepper flakes. I have some oregano, Italian seasoning, and then a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. As I was mixing this, I kept thinking I was forgetting something, and I was. It was fresh basil. If you have it on hand, great. If not, again, it's fine. So mix that up, cover, and let it simmer for a minimum of 30 minutes, but the longer you can, the better. And then you can just save this recipe for any spaghetti sauce that you need. It's really good. So anyway, let's keep going. For the Alfredo sauce, I'm going to melt a 1/4 cup of butter and then add lots of minced garlic. Let that flavor get infused before pouring in 2 cups of heavy cream. This sauce is one of those trust the process. As it heats up, the butter will eventually incorporate. Here, I'm just adding some salt and pepper. Be mindful of the salt because there is a lot of cheese in this dish, which will make it a bit salty if you go overboard. Now I'm slowly going to add in about 1 cup of fresh grated Parmesan. And I had lowered my heat before I started adding the cheese in. You don't want this to be too hot so that it clumps together. And then just keep cooking this. The longer it goes, it will start to thicken up just like this. This is what we want. For the ricotta filling, I have a 32-ounce jug of ricotta. I'm just giving it a head start, kind of mixing it a little bit before I add in 1 egg and 1/2 cup each of shredded mozzarella and fresh grated Parmesan. Season this with some salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. And finally, I cooked up a 10-ounce bag of spinach and gave it a rough chop. Mix that all together, and now finally it's time to assemble. Get a large baking dish. I probably should have used my rectangular one, but it's fine. So we're gonna add our Alfredo to the bottom, and then I have these large shells. They are already cooked. I'm going to fill it with the ricotta filling. I find putting it in a Ziploc makes this easier. Once they are filled and you have a single layer in your pan, we're gonna start covering it with our meat sauce. I just carefully ladle it over the top and smooth it out so that I don't disturb my shells too much. And then are we stopping there? Oh no, we are adding more cheese. So I have some mozzarella. I'm just gonna add a layer on the top. This is gonna go in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes or until bubbly.